Back on the Newsfeed PM, thanks for staying on. Babies Milayah and Rossouw are the first to be born following what is referred to as a simplified IVF performed in a mobile lab in South Africa. This is, or rather there is a trailer crammed with everything an embryologist needs to perform IVF on a shoestring. Now, Gynecologist Dr Willem Ombelet joins me now for more on this. Dr. Ombelet, good to have you and thank you very much for coming on this afternoon. Since the first IVF procedure performed in 1983, trace for us a little bit in a summary what has happened in South Africa as far as developments in this process is concerned.
What has happened is we performed IVF in a mobile lab. If you go to ChatGPT and ask, is it possible to do IVF in a mobile lab? The answer is no. You need a high-end center, you need sophisticated labs, but we developed quite a long time ago a system, a closed system, a tube which is closed, and we can perform IVF also in a mobile unit. And this study was a part of a collaboration between the University of Hasselt in Belgium and the University of Pretoria. It was Gerard Boshoff's work as a PhD student, embryologist. And we performed a pilot study in Rustenburg where we treated 10 patients, 5 of them became pregnant, 4 of them delivered, the last one, I think, 2 months ago. This is the first time that it's proven that IVF can be done without the need of a very expensive lab. And this is the main advantage of this method.
Yeah. What was the main thrust? What the objective that would have driven you towards finding this more affordable IVF treatment procedure?
I stayed for about 3 years in South Africa 40 years ago, and I saw in those years that there was a huge problem, especially psychological, economical problem if you don't have children, not only in South Africa, but the whole sub-Saharan region. And I found it very difficult that only in sub-Saharan Africa, only 2% of infertile couples who need IVF have access due to the high costs, due to the fact that the distances are too far, that they are far away from an IVF center. And in those years already, in 2007, we had a conference in Arusha in Tanzania about the fact, together with the WHO, the World Health Organization, that there must be something has to be done about it. And even nowadays, about more than 80% of the population in the world cannot afford IVF. And this is, in my view, unethical.
Yeah. What would have made it to be that expensive, Doc?
The expensive is because the lab is expensive, the regulations, you need air quality which is controlled, you need the gases. And now we have a system where a ready-to-use system. This is the tube. In this tube, it's pre-gassed. You put the gas in, it's sterile, and the only thing you have to do, you put in a bit of fluid, the medium for the embryologist, and then the egg and the sperm, and that's all. And you look for 3 days, and you only need a good microscope. You need a temperature box, which is very inexpensive. There's the cost to build such a lab for this method is about 1/10 of the normal cost. And this is the main advantage. This is why we can drop the cost for IVF due to this system.
Yeah. And are you saying to us that now with the National Health Act in place that regulates the assisted reproduction in the country, this system qualifies, it meets all the requirements of that regulation?
Yeah, we are sure it will be, but of course, for example, in the regulations in Europe are so stringent that you need a certain accreditation, which costs you another $1 million to perform it, which is not needed because this is a total different system. And what we have in mind that we can convince government, especially in Africa, in Asia, where it's possible to use this method because it's as safe, and the babies we already have about 300 babies are healthy, and they are even better considering low birth weight, prematurity. They're even better because it's probably more close to a normal fertilization and normal embryo development in the tube, in the uterus.
Now, if, as you say, I do a quick search and I look at what a IVF or a single round of IVF would have cost around 2016, so that's about 10 years ago, something close to $4,000. But there is a recorded system or initiative, at least from the Tygerberg Hospital, that would have reduced that to less than $600. What does this represent in terms of the amount that now you could spend in a single round of IVF?
Yeah, the person from Stellenbosch, Thabo Mdluli, is also part of this project. He will go on with this project with the mobile units, and he realized to cut the prices, especially because less embryologists involved, less people involved, the lowest stimulation protocol. But this is also what we aim to do. But I believe, and Thabo Mdluli will confirm it, that with this system we can even make it cheaper. And don't forget that nowadays in the United States and in the UK, in the United Kingdom, the cost for an IVF cycles are nearly $15,000 per cycle, or even more.
Now, talk to me then, Doc, about the success rate, I mean, that you have seen in South Africa and elsewhere of women using this particular treatment, assisted reproduction, and at what age is it most effective?
There is no, I think that it's the same as with usual regular IVF. You can go up to 42, but from the moment on you're more than, the women is more than 38, the success rate drops, but that's with every method of IVF. But our success rate was identical with the normal regular IVF. We cannot do it when you need ICSI. That means when there is a severe male infertility and you need to do the method with one sperm in one egg, then we can't do it. But for about 70% of the IVF cohort, people who need IVF, we can perform our method.
Yeah, and so since now you have this one success trial, at least, that has been very positive, what's the next step in the process of getting this, I suppose, approved and acknowledged by the powers that be?
Yeah, but the next step for South Africa is that we will have a collaboration now with the I hope with the University of Stellenbosch. We have good reasons to believe that it will go on, and then we can go on with the project and perform and send the mobile unit to different places where IVF can be performed. In the meantime, we are going to perform studies in beginning next year in India, in Egypt, in Cairo, and also in Indonesia. Observational studies to just confirm that the method is reliable, that the method is safe, but we already know about that. But this is what we are planning to do early next year.
Doc, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. Gynecologist Dr. Willem Ombelet on this milestone in IVF treatment in the country. They're reporting a success where 4 healthy babies were born in South Africa after using this simplified low-cost IVF system in a mobile IVF laboratory. Showed you there that all it takes is that tube, of course, an embryo and other systems, but simplifies it. A simple microscope in a mobile lab could be able to get you access into this treatment.